Hey, what's up guys? I'm Dave Klein, also known as Dave Control, and I had the opportunity to interview Hidetaka Miyazaki, which is something you do not turn down. I'm exhausted, I just got home from E3, but I just couldn't not try to put this together and share this with you guys right away. But there's a reason I'm doing this pre-thing, which is that it's this pre-video, which is essentially that I wasn't allowed to take any video footage of the interview, and I was allowed to record the audio, which is what I did, but I couldn't actually share the audio either. I had to literally transcribe it, and I'm going to be sharing on screen the quotes and reading it off, what I got from this interview, but it is a one-on-one interview. So I either had the option to interview the global producer without Miyazaki San being involved, or interview the man himself and do these stipulations, which you don't turn that down. So I was incredibly excited, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. So I hope you guys do enjoy this. I don't know who else got an opportunity like this. It's crazy. So, and I'll have another video later on about just my general impressions and other Q&A things that were answered when I did the Q&A. But I hope you guys enjoy the one-on-one interview, and and what I end up trying to do with it to make it work. So I asked this earlier, but just so I have an exact quote of it. So. Demon Souls had a hub system, whereas Dark Souls was a really cool interwoven world, and I was wondering which style you're going to be going with for Dark Souls 3. So basically, the maps are interconnected just like Dark Souls 1, and there's one specific base camp in Dark Souls 3, so in that sense, Bloodborne might be similar. So as far as the lore goes, and the storytelling of the lore, I should say, is it going to be the similar vein that we've always seen with Souls series, where you piece together the lore yourself and that's how you put it together, and just as equally vague? So, since it's my title, the storyline will be in bits and pieces, and in that sense, probably vague and pretty much up to each player's interpretation. That's great. Actually, I love that, so I'm glad. So good. Something I know some people were wondering is, for Dark Souls 2, you could jump by using you could change the way you jump by clicking the right button, that trigger. And in Dark Souls 1, it was by tapping B. Will you have an option this time around? So, jump functionality in Dark Souls 3 will probably be based on Dark Souls 2, which means customizable. That's really nice to hear. And I noticed like the bows too seem to be more Dark Souls 2. So as far as what you're pulling from Bloodborne and Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 1, are you going to be maybe taking like the amount of customization you have in Dark Souls 2 for Dark Souls 3? So improvements we've seen in Dark Souls 2 will probably be implemented in Dark Souls 3. One of the examples will be the camera control. And as far as PvP is concerned, in Bloodborne you had Bell Maiden, so it kind of made it so it wasn't as easy to invade people. Is this going to be a little bit easier for people who like that aspect of the game and trying to jump in and do that PvP? What do you mean specifically, speaking of Bloodborne and the PvP in Bloodborne? Well, so like there were Bell Maidens who you had to wait for them to ring their bell, and it was very specific locations. Is this going to be a little more open so you can just do it wherever you want and invade people who aren't expecting it? Like, haha, I'm invading you. Alright, so online multiplayer elements will be probably based on Dark Souls 1 and 2, so different from Bloodborne, but for further details, we would like you to stay tuned for later. So I have one final question, and I'm sure you can't answer it, but I'm going to ask it anyways, which is, as far as the lore goes with the Lord of the Cinder, we had Gwyn who became from Lord of the Light to Lord of Cinder. Is there any possible connection there that we can draw? The Lord of the Cinder, or Lords of Cinder, we're using this term in general, and we're not specifically talking about any specific Lord of the Cinder in the past. It's basically about the Lords keep succeeding the fire generation to generation. That is what we're trying to communicate with you guys. For further details, it's probably spoilers, so we'd like you to stay tuned in later days. Great, well, honestly, like, I was really impressed. It was amazing, so I cannot wait. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So that wraps up the entire interview. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I tried to ask the best questions I could, given that I only had a limited amount of time. There was a translator in between, so if, that might be why there's always a little bit of translation error caught in between. But yeah, I hope you guys liked it, and I will be having a full impressions video, as I got to watch a video on the gameplay presented by Miyazaki himself doing a live demo, and we also had a Q&A with all the Souls guys, so make sure to check out their content too when they post it, because I'm sure it'll be awesome to get everyone's impressions of what they saw. I'm legitimately really excited about Dark Souls 3 now, so this kind of did it for me. So I will see you guys next time, and thanks for joining me. Later, guys. A year later, development began on Chrono Trigger, which is what inspired me to build this baby. A working time machine. See beyond our mind's eye, that there is a way, a potential for humans to evolve beyond their natural limitations. Of course, you don't get to celebrate for too long, as it turns out your next task is to talk to this thing! Ah! I don't like it! So why flee to the undead crypt? It seems King Vendrick was trying to keep all of this away from Nashandra. His image of her painted in Dranglake Castle curses all who come near,